because the breaking news, I think you might have guessed it, is that Manchester United have sacked Ruben Amorim. OK, Jamie predicted it just a few minutes ago. He has gone. We understand he met with Jason Wilcox and Omar Barada this morning, and they informed him that he was being relieved of his duties. Right, our reporter Daniel Kahn is there at Manchester United for us. Right, Daniel, just tell us more about this, how it's come about.
Yeah, I mean, Tom, just to recap that breaking news, Manchester United have sacked their head coach, Ruben Amorim, after 14 months in charge. He met with the director of football, Jason Wilcox, and CEO Omar Barada this morning, who, as you mentioned, have relieved him of his duties. Now, this comes after his post-match comments after that 1-1 draw at Ellen Road yesterday, where he kept repeatedly saying he is the manager of Manchester United, not the head coach. But as we reported late last night, there'd been increased tension between Ruben Amorim and the hierarchy at Manchester United, especially between director of football Jason Wilcox, and that has led to the United boss leaving the club after 14 months. I told you earlier this morning there'd been a mood shift in recent weeks. This has been building up for weeks now, especially since Christmas Eve, and it seems like it has now come to a result of Ruben Amorim now leaving Manchester United just after that 1-1 draw yesterday. Incredible news this morning.
Yeah, it definitely is, Daniel, and Jamie's going to get involved in this as well. It was very strange last night, wasn't it, when he said, "I am a manager, not a coach." But we know that his title is head coach, and it confused everybody there. He seemed to be taking a dig at transfers. I mean, was he supposed to have a say in transfers? Because normally a head coach doesn't have that much of a say.
Yeah, Tom, I think there's two components to this. I think there's one that I think when he was referencing he's a manager, and he also referenced big names like Thomas Tuchel, Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte. I think what he was saying there is he doesn't want to be dictated to like these big name managers in terms of their style of play. They will play however they want and deploy their teams however they want to win football games. And as we reported last night, a lot of this strained relationship between Amorim and the hierarchy had been about the tactical approach of the team this season. We know Amorim has always consistently been bullish about his 3-4-3 system. We've seen that tweaked in recent weeks against the likes of Bournemouth, that 4-4 draw at Old Trafford, the win against Newcastle. But then in the last two games, he reverted back to his 3-4-3 against Wolves, Leeds yesterday, two uninspiring performances. And I think there were real questions raised this season around his system. I remember when they played Fulham at Craven Cottage, Marco Silva, Calvin Bassey and Alex Iwobi all talking so openly about how easy it was to play against Amorim's team. I think with a hierarchy that raised serious questions. Grimsby away, although they played a slightly weakened team, continuing with three centre-backs away to Grimsby. Serious questions having gone out of the Carabao Cup at that stage. Brentford away was also a very questionable performance in that loss as well at the G-Tech Stadium. So I think this has been building for a while. Transfers has been a separate issue. From what I understand, that hasn't been the main reason for their tensions, although they had different strategies about it. Amorim wanted to spend this month, whereas the likes of Jason Wilcox and the likes of Christopher Vell, head of recruitment, looking at transfers, they didn't want to make the previous mistakes of the previous regimes at the club, really risking their future windows, really wanting to reinforce long-term the midfield, for example. We know they have a short list of the likes of Carlos Baliba, Elliot Anderson, Adam Morton. If they spent this month, that would put moves like that in jeopardy. And that's something, while being sixth in the table and just a few points off.
Breaking news from Old Trafford. Ruben Amorim has officially been sacked as Manchester United manager after just 14 months in charge. A reported fallout with football director Jason Wilcox, a frustrated dressing room, and inconsistent performances have led to this shock decision. So, what exactly happened behind the scenes? Who takes over now? And what does this mean for United in the January transfer window? Welcome back to your daily Manchester United transfer update, January 5th edition. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because when it comes to United, drama is guaranteed during every transfer window. So let's dive in. Ruben Amorim, once seen as one of Europe's brightest young coaches after a strong spell at Sporting Lisbon, has been dismissed following United's 1-1 draw against Leeds United at Ellen Road. It was a result typical of Amorim's reign. Flashes of promise, but ultimately not enough to satisfy the fans, the board, or Ineos's long-term ambitions. What made things worse? His Friday press conference. Amorim told the press, "The transfer window is not going to change. We've no conversation to have any change in the squad. There's a process, there's an idea that's going to continue." That statement reportedly went down poorly with club hierarchy, especially Jason Wilcox, who has been trying to reshape United's recruitment with a clearer football vision. Sources say their relationship had been strained for weeks, and this public contradiction may have been the final straw. Statistically, Amorim's run wasn't convincing either. 14 months, no major trophies, early knockouts in cup competitions, and United sitting sixth in the Premier League after 20 games. Behind the scenes, reports suggest he had lost the backing of some senior players, and that his communication with key staff had broken down. In the short term, Manchester United have named Darren Fletcher, currently the under-18 coach and former club captain, as interim manager. Fletcher is respected within Carrington, but isn't expected to be a long-term solution. Names like Graham Potter, Hansi Flick, and even a wild-card approach for Zinadane Zidane have already been mentioned for the permanent job. It's clear, Ineos are now fully in charge of the next big football decisions at United. Despite the chaos, the January transfer window doesn't stop. Manchester United are reportedly monitoring Crystal Palace midfielder Adam Wharton, a 19-year-old with high potential and the kind of profile that matches Ineos' youth-centered strategy. However, negotiations haven't advanced, likely due to the managerial uncertainty last week. On the exits list, there's even more drama. Kabi Menu, one of the brightest talents of the club, has reportedly drawn loan interest from other Premier League sides, though trusted insiders claim United want him to stay and develop under their own roof. Similarly, Dutch striker Joshua Zirkzee is being linked with a move, though some suggest it could be agent-driven rather than from the club itself. All eyes are now on Jason Wilcox. The former Manchester City Academy director holds increasing power within the club as Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and Ineos seek to clear the fog surrounding United's identity. Wilcox is believed to favor a modern, data-driven approach, much like Brighton or Brentford, emphasizing youth, long-term growth, and tactical cohesion. So what's next for Manchester United? In the short term, expect Fletcher to hold the fort, while Ineos conduct a full managerial search. Long term, this is shaping up to be a total rebuild, not just tactically and in personnel, but culturally. Amorim's exit signals a new era, where every decision must align with the broader Ineos football vision. Was sacking Amorim the right decision? Will United finally find a manager who can rebuild the club in line with a clear football identity? And should players like Menu be loaned out or be part of that rebuild from the inside? Let us know what you think in the comments. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe for more breaking United news throughout the January window. This isn't just a transfer window, it's a turning point for Manchester United. See you in the next video.